Do I sound low now?
Okay, it's going live now. Going live. And we're live.
We're live, everyone. We're live. Yeah.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to BRIDGEGOOD's special event appropriately titled, We Got This. My name is Anna.
And I'm Tori.
Proud BRIDGEGOOD apprentices and soon-to-be graduates from this unparalleled, one-of-a-kind program.
Thank you, supporters and community allies, for joining today's product pitch. Our apprentices spent the past several months imagining a brand new product, BRIDGEGOOD.app. We are excited to share our web applications and our vision for a more inclusive, diverse tech industry.
You will hear from 20 talented designers from the Bay Area to East Los Angeles to Atlanta, Georgia. UX BRIDGEGOOD apprentices represent a variety of cultures, backgrounds, and unique perspectives. With 13 years of community impact, BRIDGEGOOD continues to support thousands of students from non-traditional backgrounds. Today, you will learn about how we created our collective effort in launching a new product pitch, BRIDGEGOOD.app.
Founded in 2009, BRIDGEGOOD has fostered more than 8,000 student creatives in Northern California and beyond, like Anna and I, transitioning into meaningful careers. BRIDGEGOOD is an immersive, inclusive, and important 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to improving the lives of diverse job seekers, specifically women of color. Without our generous donors and volunteers, we could not continue to offer free tuition programming. To speak about the importance of our supporters, please join us in welcoming the co-founder and executive director of BRIDGEGOOD, Sean Tai.
Yes. Thank you, Tori. Thank you, Anna. It is such an honor to be here with our wonderful apprentices. Like they mentioned, from across the country, we definitely have the most passionate, excited, honest, and authentic group of students, now awesome graduates. But we also want to say this could not be possible without Adobe. Round of applause for Adobe, please. When we first started BRIDGEGOOD, formerly Oakland Digital, everyone's first question was, does Adobe sponsor you guys? Because it would make so much sense that Adobe, a creative company, would support BRIDGEGOOD that is all about design for social good. And the answer was no in the beginning. But luckily in the past 3-4 years, they've been donors, volunteers, really community partners in advancing design for social good. Do we have our guest here? Okay, so without further ado, I'd love to introduce our head champion at Adobe. Julia, you're up.
Hi, I'll just briefly introduce myself. So my name is Julia Tien, and I lead up the Creativity for All pillar within philanthropy at Adobe. It's been really lovely to work with BRIDGEGOOD. Interestingly enough, I had Lisa Petey, who is on the design community team, invite me to do a critique last year. Was it 2 years ago? Like everything pandemic makes time seem like, immaterial. But anyway, so she invited me to come and do a critique. And so in preparation for that, I sat down and I wrote all my notes out for things that I would advise, anyone getting started in UX UI. And then we held a session, and I didn't need to go over any of the notes because the people who were in the program were so well prepared. And so I just was blown away by the caliber of training that BRIDGEGOOD provides. And coming from in industry and as someone who has years of experience helping launch people's careers in this particular niche, the training is really wonderful. So that's why we support. We also believe that everyone has a story that deserves to be told, and that the more those stories are told, the better humanity is, and the better, more empathetic everybody is. And so, that's another reason why we support this organization, is because we know that sometimes the design world can be a bit exclusive and very expensive. Art school is crazy expensive. The ROI is often very low. And so having practical training can really make a difference. So thank you, BRIDGEGOOD, for letting us be one of the supporters. And we believe in the work that you're doing. And I'm so very proud of all the creators that are blossoming.
Thank you so much, Julie. Round of applause for Julie and Lily. Thank you. Great. And also, we wanted to have a deep thank you and gratitude towards the folks that are actually volunteering their time. So not only is Adobe donating cash grants, they're also working with us as volunteers, as mentors. Slack, Salesforce. Can we get the round of applause going? App Dynamics, Beyond, shout out to Beyond, huge. Cisco, come on, keep it going. Chime, Etsy, US Bank, Toast, Twitter, and Free Association. Yes, thank you so much. And honestly, every week as they're learning, they're getting real professionals that are currently working, giving back, not just as mentors, but also as personal advice. As Julie, you mentioned, there's a lot of dynamics that go through someone's journey, right? And so we want to make sure we're supporting our students holistically. So thank you, mentors. Yeah, and I just wanted to say a word about why we call this event We Got This. These are all images that I captured. People think I'm crazy every year. Like, Sean, why don't you just take random photos of everything? It's honestly to keep those memories and moments alive. And these are some really beautiful moments from the vegan pizza that we lunched on. Thank you, Adobe, for sponsoring. But no, honestly, all of these moments mean so much to us. And we're not just building job training and workforce development, but it's really about building relationships that will last a lifetime. We've been doing this now for 6-7 years with the apprenticeship. And I'll tell you, when students reach out and they're like a senior product designer at a big company, that is the payoff, but even more so, how their lives have changed. And I've had some really meaningful discussions with the students here, just even today. And it's very emotional because you see them come in as students that are super raw, they have talent, but then taking them, teaching them design sprints, having them interact with these tremendous mentors. This is my new dog over here, by the way, Polo, who just barked. But it's really making a tremendous impact. And so we just wanted to tell everyone, thank you for supporting BRIDGEGOOD. And if you do have the means to, please support by donating, which Elisa will get into later. But thank you all for being here. It's going to be super, super exciting. So stay tuned. And with that, Anna and Tori volunteered, by the way. We asked who would like to do the intro of this We Got This event and just talk about what BRIDGEGOOD means to them. And so we selected Anna and Tori as volunteers as they wanted to. So I'm going to go ahead and just let them take it away and share some of their experiences.
Thank you, Sean. So hello again. My name is Anna, and I got into design a little bit later in life. I'm 25 now, and I became a designer at 22. So I've really been trying to search for opportunities that allow me to exercise my curiosity and refine my skills in a plethora of ways. Coming into BRIDGEGOOD, everything exceeded my expectations. We received cutting edge information and knowledge from some of the largest leaders in the tech industry. But even above that, we came into a community of empathetic, innovative, exciting people. And this is really what has left me with this sense that I will always be a BRIDGEGOODer. I will always be a part of this family. Yeah, it's really been such a transformative experience. It's changed the way I interact with myself, the world around me, and with my work. So thank you, and I'll pass it on to Tori.
Thank you, Anna. I truly believe finding a home with BRIDGEGOOD this summer was fate. I've always loved the world of design, but after graduating college last fall, I needed a stepping stone. The transition from college to work can be daunting, and without a solid network, the professional world is difficult to navigate. I'm so grateful that BridgeGood has been my vehicle for self-growth, both as a designer and as an individual. The summer UX apprenticeship with BridgeGood has helped me better understand team dynamics and real-world collaboration methods, and even build upon my own authentic personality. Now, please give a big round of applause to our BridgeGood board members, donors, sponsors, and instructors for supporting, teaching, mentoring, and helping us grow. Let's give a large warm welcome to Yudi, BridgeGood's program manager.
Thank you. I just want to say welcome to everybody on the Zoom room, as well as everybody on Facebook watching us right now. And thank you to the apprentices. This year in particular was a little bit of a challenge to select only 20 out of the 115 that applied. It was a very exhausted period of time, right, where we have to interview all the candidates, but it really narrowed down to only 20, right? And that's what makes it a challenge, having the ability to only pick 20. And all 20 that are here today really made it through. You know, they fight through emotions and putting out their best work and building their work skills and polishing the work ethic that they have proved they have. And I'm proud of them, and I hope that you enjoy the presentation. And I hope that you also believe in their journey and their talent as much as we do here at BridgeGood. Now I'll pass it on to Elisa, who is our program coordinator, who also graduated the apprenticeship program last year. And I was here working with BridgeGood.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. So what is BridgeGood? BridgeGood's US Design Apprenticeship is a 3 months, or it's an exclusive 3 months real world experience. Apprentices receive direct access to tech and design mentorship. Non-traditional students gain industry user experience learnings and hands-on training. And with the support of our donors and sponsors, BridgeGood awards 20 scholarships each year. This means the apprenticeship experience is at no cost to students. And this is where you come in. As a not-for-profit organization, we rely on the support of our community. So every dollar counts and makes a difference. If you're able, please make a donation via Venmo or Cash App at BridgeGood, or with a credit card at bridgegood.org/donate. And here is the flow of our presentation. We have a total of 5 groups, and each group contains 4 members. And the presentation will be 15 minutes long, and between each presentation, we'll have a 2-minute break. So spread the word and tell folks to tune in at facebook.com/BridgeGood. And now we're excited to officially start our product pitch event. Thank you. And design for social good, always. And now we're gonna open
Slay it. No choice but to slay all day.
Thank you, Elisa, for that warm welcome. So as you heard, we are the group Slay. So we're going to start with some quick introductions. I'll start off. My name is Lauren. I am the team lead.
I'm Jennifer. I'm the research lead.
Hi, I'm Karina, and I will be joining you guys from Los Angeles. I'm part of the design team.
I'm Davis. I'm joining from Brooklyn, New York, and I'm also part of the design team.
Perfect. So we're going to go over our very quick agenda so you can have an idea of what we're going to be talking about today. So first, we're going to do the why, which is why we believe there is a big problem with designers in the industry. The second is the solution, which is the solution that we developed for BridgeGood to fix that problem. And lastly, we'll go through some business opportunities and user benefits for our solutions.
Cool. So just to reiterate and provide some context, BridgeGood is a nonprofit organization helping students design for social good by providing equitable tech access, design opportunities, and professional resources for job seekers. So our team was tasked by BridgeGood with the assignment of conceptualizing BridgeGood's refactored web application, BridgeGood.app, which will replace BridgeGood.com. Stakeholders requested that the app have one core feature which addresses the goals of the business and the needs of users. In order to better understand these needs, we began by conducting user research and stakeholder interviews.
Upon interviewing users and stakeholders, we learned that approximately 75% of new designers lack confidence. This lack of confidence prevents students and new designers from pursuing opportunities in the design industry. As a team, we wanted to investigate where this lack of confidence comes from and how we can design to solve this problem.
So after interviewing our stakeholders, we conducted a literature review and found that the current design system is failing designers. But why is that? Well, design education is a base of knowledge about design creativity, and understanding design creativity will lead to better human capability. However, the field of design has been undermined and lacks a curriculum that cultivates the development of designers and the process. So to understand the sentiment, we presented, So to understand if these sentiments are presented within designers, we conducted 12 interviews with 12 interviews with 12 designers ages 19 to 22. So we found 3 major pain points. The first is designers lack creative confidence, meaning that their skill sets, they don't feel that their skill sets are as developed as it could be. Second, we found that designers don't have the appropriate resources. And this could be in terms of not feeling they have support from their family to even the industry. And lastly, we found that designers don't feel qualified. So even when they do have the appropriate resources, they don't feel like they can, they don't feel motivated to actually go after them because again, they lack creative confidence. So this is a quote from an interview that we felt propelled our next stages. So it's not that I'm not confident, but I need to work on my skills and having a grasp of the design process. And having a grasp of my design process helps with my creativity. And after synthesizing our data, we came up with a how might we statement. How might we help new designers feel confident and inspired?
So based off of this, how might we, our proposed solution to the confidence crisis is design challenges. We hope to create an environment where emerging designers can comfortably practice their skills and get help from each other and mentors. You might be wondering, like, what is a design challenge? How would BridgeGood create one? Would designers actually participate in those challenges? And the truth is, design challenges are actually already a part of what BridgeGood offers. For over 10 years, BridgeGood has held an annual design challenge called Inspire Oakland. This challenge asks emerging creatives to produce original artwork, answering the question, what about Oakland inspires you? While Inspire Oakland continues to be a great way to gain experience, create portfolio-ready work, and even win prizes, students often feel intimidated by the scale of this challenge. They're unsure of where to begin, and they're not sure if they're even qualified. With this context in mind, we begin to think about how BridgeGood.app could help students, designers build confidence and experience through opportunities like Inspire Oakland, while also reducing that constant feeling of self-doubt. After several iterations, we decided to create a platform where students can regularly access challenges at a much smaller scale.
So here is the persona that we named, the persona that we based our app off of. This is Ava. She's fairly young and fairly new to the design industry. She's hoping to graduate soon, and she's local to California. So the main problem that Ava faces is she's lacking an environment where she can build creative confidence and connect with others. And our app will encourage Ava to learn and practice alongside other designers, most importantly, in a low-stake environment. And now I'll show you how that will work with our prototype. Okay, so sorry about that. So we'll start with our home page. Here we have an inspirational message: embrace your creativity and voice by enhancing your design skills. So before you want to start your challenge, just to establish some trust, you want to look around the website a little bit. Ava would look at challenges, what they can establish, what they can do for her. The other thing she could do is connect with other people. That has been shared that that's very important. And she can also share her work, which will build her confidence in herself and possibly give her some things to put on her portfolio for future job opportunities. Here we have another trustworthy quote, to establish that BRIDGEGOOD is here to help you, and some local experience. And then you have BRIDGEGOOD mission here, which is contributes to the tone and voice and our progress. Again, establishing trust. 50 mentors ready to assist incoming designers, over 200 designers who are part of the creative community, 500 projects showcased on the platform, and over 20 companies that partner with BRIDGEGOOD. And here we shout out our partners because people really love to see who you're working with, especially when they're as cool as everyone here. Okay, so once you've established some trust, she's like, okay, I'll go through with this. So we want to explore some challenges, right? Another way to do that is at the top to go to challenges. So here is the real meat and potatoes of our app. These are design challenges, which you can filter by software, meaning what software you would use to complete these challenges. For example, Adobe, Figma, something like that. We have due dates to keep people accountable of their work, and team size to try and enforce collaboration. And you can really control how many people you want to work with. If not, you can also work solo. And then lastly, we have our design skill, which is whether you're beginner or intermediate. So let's say we click this, design for the visually impaired. This is a UX and UI project. And the requirements here are, this is a case study. It's due July 20th, and you will be using Figma. And you have the option to work either solo or collaboratively. So before we start the challenge, you might want to look more into it, get a good idea of what it's going to be. We have our description, our prompt, what you'll learn. And we also offer resources for if people, still don't feel like they know enough. You can read some articles and also explore past challenges. So this year can give you some inspiration. This year could give you some inspiration, give you a look at what other people have created. It will make it less intimidating. So once you start the challenge, let's say you start, and then here are some reminders to just keep you in check. You can add the due date to Google Calendar, so you'll get notifications. You can also set up reminders once an hour, day, week, or whatever suits you best. Here is the page to match with collaborators. You can do friends, mentors, things as such, and just, make it a more of a community-based design. And lastly, here's specifically a mentors page if you wanted to, have some more direction. So let's say you do that, you complete the challenge with whoever's help, and here's a congratulations page, yay. Here we've established confetti, kind of just a psychological way to congratulate you, keep you coming back, sort of such things like that. You can also share this to LinkedIn or Facebook, whatever you please. But let's say a user doesn't want to start with a challenge. That's super intimidating. I get it. So let's say you want to get actually, there's another way to upload. If you want to take more time, you can go to your dashboard. Here are your current challenges, the things that you might have been working on, sitting on, you have time until the due date. You can look at those more recommended articles or such for you to look at. If you've taken your time, you want to post the challenge, you're excited to share it to the world, you can upload it to your profile. add your photos, your description, your tags, and finally a title if one hasn't already been appointed to you. You post it, and yay again, you've accomplished that. So if you want to get some more inspiration, which is a big thing, it's a community aspect. Design, you want to learn off of other people and express different things that you pick up along the way. So you can go to our Explore page, and here you can find designers, mentors, and inspiration for your own projects. So here are some examples of what that would look for. They have likes, comments, that type of thing. Let's say we found this one interesting. And here it would lead you to this project. Here we have a caption, a tag of a mentor, more by this person, shout out Sean. You can also leave comments, things like that. And if you found this challenge particularly interesting, or this person's work particularly interesting, you can go to their profile, and it'll lead you here. You can follow him, you can message and look through their submissions and their likes. So yes, there are also some other features. Let's say you wanted to save this, you could, it would show up in your dashboard. You also can have badges, which we are planning on implementing, and things like that. So yeah, that is our app. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. So our app will encourage users to build creative confidence in their design skills by participating in these challenges. Secondly, when they do participate in these challenges, they will have the opportunity to gain new skills in design and a chance to add these challenges to their portfolio. Finally, design challenges represent a new way of working when new designers sign up for a design challenge. They will be able to collaborate on projects with other designers and while also having access to similar-minded community on the platform. Design challenges are full of magic moments that bring joy to work and strengthen team bonding. On the business end, we anticipated that our app will bring in a larger audience than previous iterations, since we will be targeting that 75% who aren't sure how to get started. Going forward, we are even considering companies will partner with BRIDGEGOOD and hire them to conduct design sprints or design jams as another form of high-stake challenges, offering BRIDGEGOOD revenue and giving new designers the opportunity to test their skills in a higher-stake environment. Secondly, this platform is also low maintenance, since mentors will be the ones to create the challenges. We also anticipate that BRIDGEGOOD's business partners, such as Adobe or Twitter, will be interested in posting challenges and inviting their employees to mentor on the platform as well. And ultimately, our solution isn't just financially beneficial for BRIDGEGOOD, it is also aligned with BRIDGEGOOD's mission to help emerging designers prepare for careers in tech and design for social good. Oh, Davis, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so moving forward, we would like to expand our prototype to include a mentor and partner view. We would also like to integrate different levels of challenges to incentivize users to participate and grow their skills sort of on a continual basis. And finally, we'd like to conduct more research and interviews to test the usability. That said, we're confident that our solution could truly be the next big step in BRIDGEGOOD's evolution. Thank you, and we'll be taking a quick 2-minute break.
Great. So we have a 2-minute break, but I'd love for any of our mentors that are currently on the line to, Alexa said, great job, Team Slay. Round of applause one more time. Excellent. Does any of the apprentices want to just sit next to me real quick? We maybe just talk a little bit for 2 minutes? Maybe? Okay. So would any mentor like to talk about their experience with BRIDGEGOOD?
Yeah, I can chime in, Sean. I think one thing that was really nice to see here is kind of I remember working with the team on Tuesday a few weeks ago at the very start where it was kind of coming out of research, trying to formulate what the idea was and seeing how it's evolved since then. It's really a testament to show like how you guys prototyped it, how you thought about the users, their journeys, understanding the audiences, but also thinking about like not over engineering the MVP, but keeping an eye towards the prize of what you could do after this step, which is, like that no stakes, low stakes, high stakes, thinking about the business value, not only to the partners, but also to BridgeGood, I think is really, really smart. So well done.
Right. And Brody, you started off as someone that was just a volunteer on behalf of Beyond, and you went on to like donating monthly funds to BridgeGood. So thank you. And also becoming a board member. So bridgegood.org/donate if you'd like to make a contribution, or Venmo at BridgeGood. Lauren, I'd love to get maybe a final thought from you. Why do you think it's important that folks support BridgeGood?
I think that in terms of art and in terms of expression, I think that a lot of things are clouded a bit by either money, or I'm not sure, maybe personal gain, but I think that it's super important to uplift places or people who are willing to, put that aside and really try to uplift other communities or uplift the idea of expression. And I think that BridgeGood does a really good job of that. I felt very comfortable here. I also felt very inspired by my other apprentices, and yeah, it's just overall a great experience.
Thank you so much, Lauren. And let's welcome up the next group. Thank you so much, Lauren.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brooklyn Valera, and I'm based in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm here with my team, the Bridge Goodies. We're a product design team trying to bring the world together one design at a time.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chriselle.
I'm Maritza Marin. Hi, and I'm Sophia Valdez.
So we're introducing a product, BridgeGood.app, which focuses on connecting creatives through coffee chats. So it's a way for designers to focus on chatting, collaborating, and connecting with one another, no matter where they are.
Yes, and today we will discuss how we came up with the product and walk you through how it works. We hope you enjoy.
And here we have our team leads. So Brooklyn operated into being team lead, UX researcher, and UX strategist. Chriselle had the job of a UI lead, UX researcher, and interaction designer. I was more focused on content design, UX research, and photography, and Sophia focused on UX research, photography, and UX writing. So why BridgeGood coffee chats, you may ask? We will take you through every key insight we got that got us here. Then we will be exploring our problem space and introducing our solution and our product.
So as young designers ourselves, we spoke with fellow creatives and discovered that there is a lack of access to design communities, as well as ways to connect with other designers. And by young, we don't just mean in age, but also in experience. So this includes people of all ages who are just getting started in design. Our problem space was defined by the current obstacle for young creatives to network with people in the design industry. So what does this mean? It means that they struggle with finding a community to foster their career growth. There's an opportunity to help designers connect and thus improve networking and community building among others. And this led us to asking, how might we create a space that specifically fosters networking between designers?
And our answer is to facilitating virtual coffee chats with fellow designers, and finding a solution for our young designers was a bit challenging. So we did start off a bit broad, and in order for us to tackle every pain point our young designers had, we were going to have to tackle it one at a time. but our group just came up to a conclusion that we were just gonna narrow it down to one-on-one interactive creative for better networking experience. So we created a product that helped novice designers to find a community that struggle finding a community to network with. So BridgeGood, that app is that app for them to use because they cannot reach that goal. They cannot reach that goal, and they can kind of communicate and connect with other people through coffee chats. Now I'm going to pass it through to Brooklyn and Chriselle so they can walk us through our prototype.
Thank you, Maritza. So meet Brian Zapata, a 21-year-old graphic design student from Oakland, California. He attends San Jose State University, and he's looking to grow his network before he jumps into his career. He's in his 4th and final year of college. So he values building strong connections with like-minded creatives. His goal is to connect with local designers to expand his network, but he's intimidated by reaching out to new people. So we're going to show you how BridgeGood.app helps him achieve this goal.
So Brian heard about BridgeGood.app from a classmate and decided to check it out. He lands on the homepage and appreciates the professional UI and direct content, but he's a bit skeptical because he's never heard of this site before. Nonetheless, he's open to learning more about what it is before he decides to commit to making an account. So he scrolls on the homepage, kind of understands how it works, create a profile, search for creatives, and build relationships. You can have a coffee chat from anywhere, whether on the go, at home. You can easily start a chat from your computer, tablet, or mobile device. And when he reaches at the bottom of the page, 2 things stand out to him. He can talk to people from anywhere, and they're all at a different level in their careers. And with the smooth navigation and reputable brand partners, Brian also trusts the site now. He is sold on signing up and can't wait to get started. Brian's email address is already populated from the homepage, so he just enters his name and password and clicks create an account. Brian appreciates the ease of the sign-up process, and he's glad he doesn't have to go straight into typing about himself. He wants to explore more, so he decides to save and continue later. Now that Brian has created an account, his homepage prompts him to begin searching for designers and can now explore the platform's network.
As mentioned before, one of the reasons Brian decided to join BridgeGood.app is because he can connect with designers from anywhere. But his current goal is to connect with local designers. So Brian searches for UX designers in Oakland and is brought to the network page. Here he sees UX designers at different companies and different experience levels. He sees Maritza M at the top, and she's a UX design apprentice at BridgeGood, the company that created the site. She seems trustworthy, so he goes to explore her profile. Here, Brian has the ability to read about Maritza, including her favorite coffee, which is a mocha latte, and then he decides to also look through her experience. As stated before, she's a UX design apprentice at BridgeGood, so he wants to look at what she's been working on. So he goes to her projects and decides to take a further look. Brian thinks Maritza is extremely talented and decides to reach out to her. But his hesitation has lessened because of the green dot next to her profile photo. It lets him know that she's open to talking to others, so he's not afraid to reach out to her. He sends her a message and makes sure to ask what her favorite coffee shop in Oakland is, and goes ahead and sends the chat. And now for the scary part, he waits.
Brian notices that a notification bubble has popped up by the chat tab in the navigation bar. Did Maritza respond? He clicks the tab and is brought to the chat page where he can keep track of all his new connections. Maritza did reply, and they decided to continue their conversation. Brian is interested in learning about UX design and how it incorporates graphic design. And he is happy he's created a new connection and is also excited to make more. A week passes by and Brian has already connected with 4 other UX designers in Oakland to further solidify his growing network. Brian decides to host a meetup off BRIDGEGOOD.app at a new coffee shop in Oakland next week.
Now, Brian's on his way to expanding his network thanks to BRIDGEGOOD coffee chats.
Working towards this final product and solution, we had to understand our users' values and goals. We discovered that our users, who are novice designers, value networking and community. In order to achieve that, they want to create a reliable network and connect with designers at different stages in their careers. And with BRIDGEGOOD coffee chats, they can do just that.
And for the business side of the BRIDGEGOOD brand, what will these values and goals look like? Through conversations with stakeholders, we learned that the balance of business and user goals. They align in community building aspect by expanding BRIDGEGOOD beyond Oakland in a sustainable way. We can highlight both sets of values, but what does it mean to expand sustainability? Users can connect with people from anywhere, and it also eliminates having to expand physically and having to keep track of multiple locations. BRIDGEGOOD.app will make BRIDGEGOOD expand to all 50 states and not just California because it's accessible for everybody.
As we wrap up our presentation, my team and I would like to share a few reflections from the past week working on this product. I'll start. Working with this talented team of designers really allowed me to become a better team player. But I want to take this time to compliment my teammates, specifically their courage to jump into the unknown and get it done. Chriselle's work ethic was unmatched. When it came down to it, she made sure we had a polished, presentable product, no matter how late it was or how much time we had left. And I admire Sophia and Maritza's determination. They were able to jump in and learn XD extremely quickly. And I'm really going to miss working with them. And I hope they're proud of our product today because I know I am.
Thank you, Brooklyn. I also really enjoyed working with my team and seeing our progress in the past 3 weeks. It was a valuable experience getting to work with these other brilliant designers that challenged me to think outside of the box. I admire Brooklyn for being accountable and helping our team stay organized, and I appreciate how much Maritza and Sophia took on the courage to work on something unfamiliar and get the hang of it so quickly. One key thing that I learned from this team is the value of research. It's important to reflect back on our key findings and to keep in mind the user's needs when it came to design choices that our team had to make.
Thanks, Chriselle. Making this product with my team really helped me view design and teamwork in a whole new way. I enjoyed working with my team and coming down with ideas we could all agree on and having that come to life. This team really did a good job making me feel comfortable and to speak up and to make me feel like my ideas are being heard. I enjoyed the design sprint because I gained so much knowledge I didn't know before, and I would definitely do it again.
Thank you, Maritza. For me, this was definitely a learning experience as I was new to using Adobe XD and I often had to ask for help from Chriselle and Brooklyn and look up tutorials whenever I got stuck. So I'm really appreciative of Brooklyn and Chriselle's expertise with Adobe XD, and I've learned a lot from them. Overall, I'm proud of this project and how much we accomplished and grown as designers. Thank you all for listening, and now we're going to take a 2-minute break.
Hey, Amber, good work, Sophia. Good work, team. Amber, are you there?
I'm here. Yes.
Cool. Yeah, just before we, I'd love for you to chime in on the accessibility and design course that you taught for this apprenticeship. But if you're watching right now and you're inspired, I know I am, please consider making a donation, $50, $5, $10. You can pay via Venmo at BRIDGEGOOD or at bridgegood.org/donate. Amber, you've been such a champion of accessibility and inclusion in design. We'd love for you to talk about why do you lead so many classes with BridgeGood, and why do you continue to stay involved?
Sure. I moved so my dog wasn't behind me. I think accessibility isn't something that's taught much, as I understand it. It's more something that designers and writers and researchers learn about after they begin their careers. And I think it is such a valuable bit of training to learn about accessibility while you're in training, while you're still learning how to apply all of these principles of design and content and research together. It just makes a lot of sense to learn it formally, as opposed to having to learn it on the job when the stakes are a lot higher.
Yeah, and this one thing is we wanted to shout out Twitter, which is where you work, and we were just at Twitter headquarters, so shout out to the whole Twitter for Good team. Round of applause for that. Yes, that was fun. We have a few seconds left. Maritza, I'd just love for you to talk about what was the biggest skill or lesson you learned as an apprentice at BridgeGood?
What I learned about myself, I do struggle with self-doubt, but I did learn a lot that I can change, like as in learning more knowledge, and I kind of impressed myself better than I thought. Like I thought I was gonna be more like still in my bubble, still like shy and not speaking up, and then like I feel like I self-grow a lot from like the start of the program to the end, and I also felt like I gained so much more knowledge that I didn't even know I went to design. So I was just very much like proud of myself for learning and for taking stuff out of my comfort zone to be able to be part of this program. So I'm really proud of myself for that.
Thank you, Maritza. And with that, next group, Mighty Four. Thank you.
Hello everyone, we're the Mighty Four. Hello everyone, we're the Mighty Four, and over the past month, we have developed a reimagined BridgeGood product, and it's called Continue Community Fireside Chats. And this platform provides a safe space for up-and-coming designers to collaborate with and learn from UX professionals and peers. And please allow me to introduce my amazing team to you guys. My name is Elaine, and I'm the product lead and the visual designer.
My name is Raymond, and I was responsible for content design and information architect.
My name is Tori, and I was responsible for storytelling, UX design, UI design, and prototype.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anna, and I spearheaded storytelling, UX design, UI design, and prototyping.
Okay, before we get into the good stuff, we're going to go over the agenda. So today we are going to cover business values, user research, problem statement, solution, and at the end, our takeaways for this project.
We began learning about and taking into account our stakeholders' visions of innovation, scalability, as well as increased BridgeGood impact throughout the country, and their desire for a low-maintenance, self-sufficient platform, a lawn that doesn't need to be mowed.
So after a very insightful conversation with Sean, Yudi, and Elisa, we came across an insight that really changed the game for us. It directed the features of our product. So for a little bit of context, BridgeGood was created in 2009. Our stakeholders have interacted with and followed the trajectories of thousands of junior designers. That's a large number. And the greatest challenge that they found, which was incredibly surprising to us, was that this population of students lacked the self-awareness of the skills and quality of work that are needed to land their first job. This was really interesting, and we wanted to focus on this audience for our product. So we decided to choose recent graduates and career switchers as our target audience.
As our research around this population revealed them to be experiencing a difficulty landing their first job, with some taking 8 months to up to 2 years to land the job in their desired field, as well as a lack of awareness around skills needed to be a competent candidate and for a need for continued education during their transitional period.
So at this point in the process, we were experiencing a copious amount of confusion. We had so many ideas, and it was really hard for us to narrow it down into one core feature. Through open conversation and collaboration, shout out to Brody and Sean, we were able to melt our product down into one core feature and cohesive brand. This led us to a refined problem statement of entry-level UX designers are lacking in the support and perspective needed to land their first UX job. How might we create a low-maintenance platform that allows students across the country to connect and gain insight from UX professionals?
We'd like to take you through this problem space and bring you into our solution through the experience of our user, Maria Thompson. Maria is a 22-year-old graduating senior at Diablo Valley Community College. Her unknown future around career, skill set, and job applications leaves her feeling lost and unsure of where to start. She also recognizes the shift she'll experience once she leaves college and no longer has the supportive community of designers she once had. One day, Sean Tai, BRIDGEGOOD's executive director, comes into her classroom to speak about this new application that they are launching, which provides a valuable insight, community, and continuing education for new designers. Bells start going off in Maria's head, and immediately she creates an account once she gets home. And this is where our story begins.
So we're just jumping into the prototype right now. Before we start scrolling, I want to give you a little bit of information and background around what this product is. Something so special about BRIDGEGOOD that I was completely blown away by was the mentorship basis that this program provides its apprentices. I mean, you are really just getting top knowledge information from some of the leading tech companies in this industry. So we wanted to leverage this existing mentorship to host fireside chats, where young UX professionals can ask any and all questions that they'd like, but they can also learn from UX professionals in very specific ways. So Maria will now start scrolling through the prototype. We really wanted to bring our user in with visuals and short blurbs around what this platform provides. A beginner's community is a space where our junior designers are able to feel safe in asking the questions that might, that they're not sure will really connect with maybe more advanced designers. So we really wanted to focus in on this beginner's community, the transitional period that can be so hard to get through sometimes, especially within tech. So towards the end, we're just highlighting how important these connections are. I mean, the whole world really looks towards the Bay Area for innovation happening within this industry. And BRIDGEGOOD has all of these connections in tech. It's incredible, it's unique, and we really wanted to leverage this. So at the end, we have design challenges, which haven't been built out yet, but this would really bring our platform together. So students, users of this platform would be able to collaborate together on design challenges released every month, and then they could ask mentors questions during these fireside chats. So at the end, we have a few fun facts about what this platform holds, and then a call to action to sign up. So this is the login page, pretty basic, straightforward. What we really wanted to do here was draw our users in through visual communication. So we really emphasized a photo of BRIDGEGOOD, what we do, and just kind of trying to emulate the type of people that sign up. Very collaborative, very interested. So Maria is going to put in her credentials, sign in, and this brings her to her dashboard. Before I begin explaining what this really entails, I want to highlight how we created a brand around this dashboard. We wanted to use the idea of a ticketing system to just create a cohesive brand and thank you, Kyle, and create some interest around our product. So you have a title, you have the hosts of the fireside chat, a short description, kind of the basics, date, time, QR code, a barcode because it's conceptual, but because it's conceptual. So we also have camps, which are the fireside chats that our user Maria has signed up for. And within these camps, she's going to see all of the fireside chats. She's able to toggle between different themes. We wanted to keep these simple and straightforward. So she's going to click UX design. It's going to stay there because that is a UX design event. And then she's interested. She wants to discover. And that's where we go into Ignite. So this is the page for Ignite. It is where all the fireside chats are held. It has kind of the standard date, time, description, and the hosts of this fireside chat. So this is really where our users will be able to engage in curiosity, creativity, and find something that they feel matches their needs. So Marie's going to click on leadership in UX. She's going to see who the hosts are. She's also able to click into this and see what type of work they do. And, that kind of helps her understand, is this something I want to engage in? And if I do, am I able to bring questions into this? And then there's also topics of discussion to just give a little bit more of an overview. And she's going to sign up.
All right. Now, one of our goals during the sign-up process was to really break the ice between the host and the audience members, which is why during the sign-up process, we have included questions asking about where they are from, a fun fact about themselves, and also what they are hoping to achieve through this fireside chat. And then after they fill out the form, they are able to sign up. Afterwards, it notifies at the sign-up button that it is grayed out, that you have completed the sign-up form. And then once you have signed up, your wonderful, exciting, and curious ticket will be located in the camps section. This ticket contains all the information needed to be able to know what the camp is about and to be able to join. It has the description, host, and the date and time as well. Now, some time has progressed and we are getting closer to our meeting. As the time progresses and the meeting is starting, we press the button Join Meeting at the bottom right of the ticket. This then allows us to enter the camp fireside chat. At the bottom row is where all of our audience members are, while our two wonderful co-hosts are up front and center. And then during this visual experience, the panel to the left side is what our user interacts with to control their mic and their camera, along with chat messaging, screen sharing, and the tools used for holding a relationship between the computer and the camp fireside chat. And then the hang up button is to the bottom left. Now at the top right, the kebab right there is what the user will be able to use to control the visual settings. During this demonstration, we are going to select to move the panel to be right aligned. So we select there and then we are able to exit out of the pop-up, which then moves the panel to the right side. Now, some time has progressed and we have had a wonderful, informative fireside chat with our co-hosts. At the ending of the chat, we are then able to hang up by pressing the end call button right there at the bottom right. Afterwards, as concluded, and the ticket has then disappeared.
That marks the end of our prototype. Thank you everyone for following through with us. So why does this matter? We know that there is a real need within this target population to kind of address the transitioning phases that a lot of students and career switchers face when trying to break into different types of industries. So this is definitely something that users need, right? But we also need to think about business values and how does this really feed into BRIDGEGOOD? So this is done in a few ways. As we all might be aware, next slide, please. The UX field has increased exponentially. Even in the last 5 years, there have been a 320% increase within this field. So this means that a lot of people are in need of guidance, right? Especially since a lot of people coming into this field are career switchers, they're transitioning. There's a lot of nuance within finding a job within UX. So there is already a population base of users that BRIDGEGOOD could use to address its need for impact. We also want to think about monetary value, right? And BRIDGEGOOD has many sponsors within the Bay Area that are seeking employees, people to get into their industries and businesses and grow with them. So BRIDGEGOOD would be providing a base of competent employees for these businesses. We predict that BRIDGEGOOD would receive 1 million in collective sponsorship for this new app, with the opportunity for that number to increase with paid premium features. Finally, this app would address the need for a self-sufficient platform. We are leveraging an existing mentorship base that drives the platform. That means that half of BRIDGEGOOD's need to populate would already be there, and they would be the ones really kind of guiding the mentorship and use of this platform.
Now, from working on our sprint, we experienced some lessons. One is that defining our core feature earlier on proved to be necessary to focus on the product vision and brand identity. Additionally, rapid prototyping is oftentimes the most useful and most time-efficient way to get the feedback you need when designing for usability. Additionally, the ideation phase can lead to lots of ideas, and we would tend to have a very broad view on what the product is, but it is essential to narrow down and decide on what the key feature is. Lastly, when working with our stakeholders and engineers, we created constraints around our product. These constraints create opportunities for a concise and well-rounded project, and they can also give way to creativity.
For our next steps, we are looking forward to adding features of mentorship workshops and also design challenges in order to make our product more robust and interactive. We'll also refine our video chat feature. Additionally, we'll create premium features and come up with possible payment plans.
So as our presentation coming to an end, we would like to take this moment to thank everyone for joining us to listen to our presentation. We also would like to thank our mentors for providing us with the guidance that we needed. So let's give them a round of applause. And lastly, we would like to thank our amazing leaders, Sean, Lisa, and Yuri for giving us this opportunity. Without them, we wouldn't be able to have this presentation. And so thank you. Give them a round of applause.
Thank you. So I want to acknowledge some people that donated via Venmo. Okay, we're gonna thank you, Anna. Thank you, Tori. Thank you, Swad. We have some donations in. $250 from our next guest, who's going to come up here in a second. Lisa Tolles, our board president of BRIDGEGOOD. Board president of BRIDGEGOOD's here. And then we have $40 from Alexa Tilly. Thank you so much for that. Omar Sonata with $50, and then Brody with $150. There's definitely more, but let's get into a little talk with BRIDGEGOOD's president. Lisa, I remember we were, I think 2013 or 14, you want to grab the mic, we were thinking about branching off Oakland Digital to BRIDGEGOOD, and at that time it's called Bridge for Social Good, and it was just this idea we had in our head, and now, gosh, 8-9 years later, it's become something that's helped over 8,000 creatives, and you saw that vision. Why do you care about BRIDGEGOOD so much, honestly?
I have so many reasons. There's not enough time to go through all of them, but it's just literally amazing to watch what you and the community have built in all this time. And what's so inspiring about this this important day, the design apprenticeship, and why I love donating to BRIDGEGOOD for events like this is that I can actually look around and see the community of designers starting out on their career path, and I just love donating during this particular event because I know that they're building not only their design skills but building their confidence. And as they launch this career, and I want to help them launch this career in the right way, with the right level of support, feeling us rallying around them, that we're here for them.
Great. And you know, as I look around, I see Duran. Duran was an apprentice graduate, and now he's employed at one of our partnering companies, Beyond. Duran, maybe just a few words of what BRIDGEGOOD meant to you and means to you.
Oh, I don't know if we have enough time, but
should we wait for the next one? Should we wait for the next segment?
I was just gonna say, wait, what's the next segment?
After the next presenter, do you want to do the next 2 minutes, little segment?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it. Duran. So we're all gonna hear from Duran, graduate and now a Beyonder. So thank you, everyone, and we'll welcome up the next group. Thanks, everyone. Double diamond.
Okay, hello everyone. We are Double Diamond, a team contracted by BRIDGEGOOD in order to completely reinvent their product, focusing on a key feature. And we named our product Journeys because our core feature is the creative career journey map. I'm Amna, the content and research lead, and next to me are Hillary, our product and design lead, Sandra, our visual lead, and Alyssa, our interaction lead. So a bit about our agenda. First, we'll talk about the why, and then we'll go into our solution, and then we'll finish off with the opportunity. And within those sections, we'll talk about the research that informed our vision. We'll talk about our vision. We'll take you all through our user story and our solution, and then we'll finalize with next steps and takeaways. So starting off with the why. We did one stakeholder interview, 12 user interviews, and we had 31 survey responses. And 71% of our interviewees and survey respondents expressed interest in some form of mentorship, guidance, and support. And so from our research, we pulled some thematic statements to guide us through the process. The first one being, I'm interested in getting firsthand advice from someone who's been through the same journey. And the second one being, everyone starts at a different place and path to getting that first job. And I want to help others expedite that process because when I was getting help from experienced designers, it was really helpful. And so these statements really helped us narrow down our target audience into number one, a primary new creative, and number two, a secondary experienced creative. And they also helped us come to a guiding vision, which is how might we create an enjoyable space for new creatives to explore journeys of experienced creatives and shape their own. But before we jumped into our solution, we did a competitive analysis. So LinkedIn, a creative networking product, is our direct competitor, and ADP List, a design mentorship product, is our vector competitor. And our product Journeys lies right in between these two. We really wanted to give creatives the opportunity to build a community that's transparent and accessible about career advancement and inspiration, and that guided us throughout the rest of our solution. So with that, I'll pass it off to Hillary to tell you all about our user story.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Anna. I want to talk about our solution. So I'm going to first start talking about our user personas. I'm going to walk you through our prototype, and then we're going to talk about next steps. So for our user personas, our primary user persona is Mia Rodrigo. She's a young designer working for BRIDGEGOOD as a UX design apprentice. She lives in San Francisco with her boyfriend and 2 cats. She loves exploring the outdoors and photographing nature, as well as teaching herself how to hand letter. She's looking for a design community that is going to provide her with support and inspiration from experienced and fellow creatives. Mary Chen, our secondary persona, is an experienced creative working as a UX designer at Etsy. She lives in SF with her partner and a cute corgi named Scooter. She can't resist buying every cute stationery product she comes across. With our user journey, we're going to start with Mia, our primary persona. She's a user looking to join BRIDGEGOOD's new app, Journeys. She's heard about it about the community from a friend, and she has 20 minutes before work, so she wants to check out the site and see if she can sign up and start exploring user journeys to get inspired. As she opens up the homepage, she sees that this tells users what the app offers. She sees calls to action as she scrolls down and additional information on the community. At the bottom, as she's scrolling, she can see a limited view of user journey maps, which gives her a sense that the site is authentic because she can see real people in a little small thumbnail of their journey. She's going to scroll up and click on the sign up button so that she can sign up and join this community. As she signs up, she's entering her information and she notices that down below there's a Facebook, Google, and Apple icon for a login option that gives her a feel that this UI is a trustworthy site. So she clicks Let's Go, and she's directed to the onboarding screens. She likes that the breadcrumbs down at the bottom show her that there's 3 screens for this onboarding, so she doesn't feel like this is going to take a lot of time. She also likes the option of I'll do it later, which helps her feel like she can exit this if it's taking too long. As she continues through the onboarding, she can see more information on how she should fill out her profile, her journey map, as well as viewing the Explore page. As she clicks Next, when she's finishing her onboarding, she's directed to an Explore page quiz. As she's scrolling through the quiz, she realizes that this is going to help promote or curate her Explore page. And so she's coming through, she's making her selections, and as she gets to the bottom, she's going to click the Let's Explore icon. And now she's on the Explore page. This Explore page has been curated for her quiz results, but she only wants to look at UX designers today. So she's going to click on the filter icon right here, and she's going to click UI UX under the creative focus so that she's only shown people that are in this creative field. The reason why she wants to look at UX designers today is she has a question on whether she should start learning Figma or an HTML CSS class next. Fellow apprentices she's been talking to have these skills, and she's wondering which would be more beneficial to her career. The first creative that she sees once she applies these filters is Mary Chen. She thinks that Mary's going to be a good fit because she's a UX writer at Etsy. She can see from the smaller thumbnail that it looks like this might be a good fit. So she's going to click on the thumbnail and she's going to be directed to Mary's profile. Mary has a larger user map on her profile, and as she's scrolling through, she can see that Mary is actually more concentrated on improving her writing skills. And this doesn't really match what Mia's looking for. So she's going to click the back button and go back to the Explore page. As she's looking through the Explore page, she notices Alexa. Alexa is a UX designer at Twitter. And Mia thinks that from the limited parts that she can see on the thumbnail here, that Alexa's journey might match with what she's looking for to answer her software question. She's going to click on Alexa's thumbnail and start exploring Alexa's map. As she's exploring Alexa's map, she sees that Alexa, as a UX designer at Twitter, she wants to learn a little bit more about that. So she's going to click on the icon and a pop-up is going to appear. This pop-up is going to have more information on Alexa's timeline at Twitter, so she can see that Alexa's been promoted from a junior designer to a UX designer. She can also see Alexa's skills gained and her toolbox, so the tools that Alexa is using on a daily basis at Twitter. She notices that Alexa is using Figma on a daily basis and is now leaning a bit more towards using Figma or learning Figma for her class. So it's answering her software question. She clicks out of this. She's really excited as she's exploring Alexa's journey that she sees Alexa started as a photographer. And obviously Mia likes to do photography as well. So she's feeling like her and Alexa's path is like really vibing. She wants to learn a little bit more about Alexa. She's going to click on the About button. And she can see Alexa's bio, strengths, and connect. So she really likes Alexa's profile and wants to save it for later. So she clicks on the heart next to Alexa's picture, which is going to save it to her favorites. And then she's going to click on the LinkedIn link to go and leave Alexa a message on LinkedIn so that they can connect. And now I'm going to take it to Sandra for next steps.
All right, so now that we've designed our BridgeGood journey app, we hope to expand on it more. So our next steps would be first to have some customization, as we want our users to have a wide variety of themes to choose from, which could possibly allow for some collaborations with sponsors such as Adobe and Google. Second, the curated journey maps. So for the experienced creative that doesn't have time to create their profile, this might mean interviewing them and then taking that information to be able to populate our product further in order to inspire creatives. And lastly, the employer view. So we want to see if employers are a valid audience for our product. We don't want to replace the current job application resume process. Rather, we want to give employers the opportunity to get a visual sense of a candidate's potential and identity. And I'm gonna hand it over to Alyssa to go over the opportunities.
Okay, yeah, so as we demonstrated with our first time user, Mia, Journey Maps is a new feature for the BridgeGood web application, gives the growing BridgeGood community opportunities to explore possibilities through unique journeys of working creatives, and use that as a means to inform, inspire, and shape an ongoing creative career. And because creative careers are ongoing, it encourages users to update their journeys as their careers continue to evolve and grow. This also fulfills two needs connected with our research. First, it gives new creatives the ability to better inform their career decisions so that they shape a path that aligns with their goals and their values. Secondly, it gives experienced creatives the ability to visualize their creative journeys in a way that's unique, personal, and more dynamic than a bulleted list on LinkedIn. And this also helps at the same time to foster meaningful connections and opportunities for mentorship with like-minded creatives. As far as our business values, we believe that by implementing our core feature, we increase the user base by expanding to creatives that are more experienced, while also incentivizing past apprentices and learners in the BridgeGood community to remain active on the platform beyond the term of their apprenticeship and early career. This in turn increases exposure for BridgeGood as an organization, and it boosts grants eligibility and the success rate. So lastly, we want to just kind of wrap up with some team reflections and personal takeaways that we had. For me personally, I know that I appreciated the way that our team was able to begin the sprint with a strong foundation since day one. We did this by assigning roles, which helped us to maintain quality control at every stage of our design process. I also want to give a special thank you to Hillary, our leader, who was not only a leader that listened, but she also was a leader who motivated and rooted for her team.
Thanks, Alyssa. As my team reflection, I'd like to recognize that our team did a really good job delegating tasks and spreading our workload equally. We were also very vocal about making sure that everybody knew what was due and when due dates were, making early deadlines, as well as giving everybody allowance so we had a little flexibility. And I would like to shout out Sandra for her proactive attitude and always anticipating our group's needs. She also kicked butt organizing our Trello.
Thanks, Hillary. And I just want to, for my takeaway, I just want to focus on, like, you know, we're always working, but I really appreciated the team bonding we had in between work sessions and the design sprint. And I also want to give a shout out to Anna, you know, for taking the lead on the content design and giving feedback whenever we needed it the most.
Thanks, Sandra. I want to thank my team for being flexible about giving and taking space and responsibility when needed. And I want to shout out Alyssa for learning and teaching us Adobe XD and being confident about that. And with that, we've come to the end of our presentation. Thank you all for joining us during this time, and we'll break for a quick 2 minutes. Thank you.
Duran, what's up?
What's up?
You know, we met, I think SF State, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you joined the apprenticeship. You thought very deeply about design as almost like culture. And we had a great talk at your exit interview when you graduated BridgeGood. What was it like for you going through the program and then now watching folks that were in your shoes now learning and going to start careers of their own?
It was, I mean, for me, it was a really transformative experience. Like when I entered as an apprentice, I finished my junior year of school, going into my senior, and you know, I had some design experience under my belt, but wasn't sure about where that journey was going to lead at the end of it, and you know, how I was, you know, evolving as a designer. Once I joined as an apprentice, I just felt like that catalyzed my entire experience. I got to see so much of how the industry operated. I got to come into a lot of strengths I had as a designer and realize them, and then simultaneously come into a really, really supportive community that like had the same like wants and desires and drive as I did. So it was kind of my experience, and now coming back and seeing that happen again with all of these apprentices is just so inspiring and amazing. And like I'm really grateful to have had opportunities to also like come back and share like my knowledge and experience as like I continue to grow in my career now, and just being able to pay that forward. And I'm excited for where these apprentices are going to go next, because everybody here is just so talented. I'm just in awe.
Yeah, and then we appreciate you also being a mentor for the apprenticeship this year. And we love having you a part of BRIDGEGOOD and representing what we stand for. So thank you, Ron. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great. Round of applause. And before we get into the final group of the day, I do want to just give a special shout out to Erica, who is from Twitter and who organized the Twitter for Good event that we went to, where we got to hang out and eat the best food in the Bay. So one more round of applause for Twitter for being such a great partner. And Erica, thank you so much. And with that, literally the final four, Group E, the final four, round of applause. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Elvira, and our team, the Final Four, developed a responsive and accessible web application, BRIDGEGOOD.app, which will host our product, MyPrep. Students in their early design careers feel intimidated and insecure about networking. New designers avoid networking because of anxiety and fear of judgment. Yet designers wanted to build meaningful connections with other designers and professionals. So we developed MyPrep, which caters to designers 18 to 35 who are eager to learn and struggle with networking anxiety. MyPrep encourages designers to attend in-person events and make new connections. With MyPrep, they can set personal goals, plan their pitch, and learn about the attendees. Now, Gail and Sandra will do a live walkthrough of our redesigned BRIDGEGOOD.app.
Thank you, Elvira. And now we'll be hopping on into the shoes of a recent graduate of San Jose State University and a BRIDGEGOOD member, Jane Smith. Ever since the pandemic, Jane Smith has been having troubles making connections with like-minded creators similar to her. So since then, she's been held back by her anxiety with networking. And one day she was notified by the BRIDGEGOOD team a reimagined BRIDGEGOOD web app that could support her with networking. So now Jane hops onto the app to see what's up. She scrolls through the page, but Jane came here knowing that she's here for one thing. It was to find networking events to help her make connections. So she goes to the Explore events, and she's directed into the events page. She scrolls through the page once more to look for some events, but she noticed that there was an event hosted by App Dynamics, which is consisting of content design, which is something that she wants to join. So she clicks on the card and she's directed into the event details page. She scrolls through it once more to look through for information, and she notices that the speaker has a bio that she can view. And she's directed into the bio page of the speaker. She skims through it once more, and she realized that she and the speaker had something in similar, and especially where they grew up, which is in San Diego, California. So Jane is motivated to make a conversation with the speaker during the event. So she backs out. Jane knows that she wants to attend this event, so she clicks on the attend button. She's now registered, and the page changes in color to let her know that she's registered for the event. I'll be passing it on to Sanjana.
Thank you, Gail. So Jane usually likes to look at the attendees that are going to be at the event so she can know a little bit about what to expect. She'll scroll through the attendees list and will click on Andre James's profile picture. She sees that Andre has a resume preview, and we'll click on that to view a little bit more about his career experience. After exiting his resume, Jane will scroll down to see that Andre is adventurous. She makes a mental note of this, as Jane is a little bit more reserved and can learn a couple things from Andre. She'll scroll down through his strengths and see that he is really interested in finance. Jane has been super obsessed with finance and financial freedom, so she's excited to start a conversation about that with Andre. She'll go back to the event details page and see that there are a few prep tools that she can use. Jane is intrigued by the Plan My Intro card, as she's never heard of an intro before. She'll look through the best practices and use that to guide her in her first draft of her intro. She may spend 15 to 20 minutes drafting this intro and will be aided by a word count of 85 words that will help her keep her intro around 30 seconds, that short, sweet, concise length. She'll click the save button and be reassured that she can edit her intro later on. She'll scroll down and see that there is a goal setting card. Now this really piques Jane's interest. She loves planning and has set goals all throughout college. So she jumps right in and starts to make a few goals. Again, she's aided by a word count of 10 words to keep an efficient length. She'll save these goals. And then we'll scroll down to the networking anxiety card. Jane knows that she is uncomfortable and uneasy when it comes to networking, but she doesn't have a lot of knowledge about networking anxiety. She'll read a little bit about how common networking anxiety is and about the different types of networking anxiety. Intrusion anxiety really resonates with her, as she knows she's felt that before. She'll navigate up to the profile tab and click on the profile tab. She'll see that she hasn't completed her bio yet, but Jane is aided by a few helpful links that will take her directly to certain parts of her bio that are unfinished. If we cut to the day of the event, Jane can pull out her handy dandy phone. Give us one moment for technical difficulty. She can pull out her handy dandy phone and access the My Prep page. During the event, the My Prep page will allow Jane to easily access the work that she has put into preparing for this event. She can quickly access her intro to refresh herself and can view her goals so that she can remind herself of her purpose for attending the event. Jane will attend the event with confidence and will feel secure in her skills. And we all know that good experiences compound on good experiences. So BridgeGood will be excited to see Jane at future events. I'll pass it on to Lori to talk about our business side.
Thank you, Sanjana. So we wanted to touch briefly on how the business connects with the user goal. And as for the business side, companies that want to be involved in the community and get to know upcoming new designers could team up with BridgeGood to host these events, which will be featured on the BridgeGood.app page. We've also projected My Prep, our specific feature, to help BridgeGood's active member pool by increasing it to 800 to 1,000 new users yearly. Also, based on data, we estimate around 500 creatives attending these events after just 1 year, with a 10% increase yearly. On the user side, My Prep serves as a safe and welcoming space where they can grow as a creative, prepare, and feel more connected with their community. As a team, we sorted out through an array of ideas that we've been documenting for potential future features. Some of them include an event group chat and an event reflection,
which will bring the conversation back onto the online space of BRIDGEGOOD app. One of our favorite future features that could complement very well with this, my prep, is a seamless volunteer sign up. So the user could potentially become a event aide and help and the event host with some of the responsibilities of hosting an event. And so the host would get some help and the designer could potentially practice their soft skills and connection skills. So all in all, this will enable BRIDGEGOOD to continue helping the designers like Jane and myself gain more confidence in themselves and navigate tech world and also being part of a diverse community. So thank you.
And now I want to hand it over to Sean.
I'll keep it going. Wonderful. So we ended really well on time, and we have a few moments for any of the folks that are on the call to talk about either their experience as a board member, as a mentor, and if anyone wants to join me up here, we definitely have another seat up here, so anyone can join me up here. But yeah, maybe Kyle, just because I see you first on our screen in Oakland. I think you're on mute. Kyle Rush.
Oh, sorry. I was having trouble finding the mute button. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'm actually lucky enough to be I've been a mentor and I'm a board member. I'm really liking these presentations. I remember seeing, I was a judge for the initial design challenge that we get to see some of these students enter. And it's really great to see them not only just develop themselves as designers during that design challenge, but then to see them go through this whole process of the apprenticeship and see them presenting their products today. It's just really amazing to see. And you can just see that there's just so much thought that's gone into it. And I mentioned earlier in the chat, I really like the design. I really like the team kudos. I think that's one thing designers don't do enough. I think we're our harshest critics, right? We're always, I don't think we pat ourselves on the back enough. And so it's really great to see you guys pat each other on the back and thank yourself and also reflect on how far you've come during these 15 weeks.
Definitely, Kyle. Erica, if you want to speak in a second, we'd love for you to be a speaker. But Anna, you were in many cases a team lead. Do you want to share maybe how you've grown as a team lead? Just because Kyle talked about the importance of kudos of team building.
Yeah, I think it's something that isn't necessarily easy to do. I think being a leader is oftentimes marketed as somebody who is the loudest or the most confident. And something that I've kind of realized through the process is it really is about giving the voice to the people that you're working with and really learning how to not just kind of breeze through a process, but really understand what can each member contribute and hear that out. So I think it was definitely a whirlwind, and at times it was hard, when it comes to those decision-making moments, it's kind of hard to take a step back or to say, this is the direction we need to go in. But it was amazing. It was collaborative. And I really think a team lead offers guidance, but really the team itself is that we lift each other up.
Cool. Thank you for sharing. And Erica, you had the opportunity to meet the BRIDGEGOOD team at Twitter headquarters last week. What were your thoughts about either them or the program?
Thanks, Sean. Hello, everyone. Good to see you all again. I was just blown away, and as I am today again, by seeing the iterations that have come from that session, But what I just really appreciated was the immense talent in the room. It was just so refreshing, and the diversity of ideas to a similar problem. And that was also very interesting to me. Yeah, I'm just super impressed. Just donated. I recommend you do the same if you haven't. Because I'm really impressed by the work that BridgeGood is doing, the talent that it's cultivating, the ability to give people leadership, individuality, creativity. I was astounded that y'all didn't have specific guidelines for these projects, and that these groups had to figure it out for themselves. And boy, did they figure it out. So again, just super impressed, super appreciative that this is a resource, hearing the pain points and feeling inspired to figure out ways to be a partner in addressing that as well in our communities. So thank you.
Thanks, Erica. And when folks always ask me about who they should look into in terms of like emulating in terms of large companies CSR, I always say look at Twitter. Twitter for Good, board membership, thought leadership, having Biz Stone come down at our Inspiration Awards, event space services and cool people, great culture, best food. I'll end it at the best food. But
did you mention the food? The food. I'm
best
kidding.
food, best food. No, but honestly, you know, the first lines of code were coded in Twitter headquarters. So we are forever connected, BridgeGood and Twitter. So thank you.
I love that story. I love that story. And Yudi, I'm looking at you, you know why. But yeah, I'm really excited about this partnership. It's one of my most inspiring. And so thank you for all the things that you're doing and always keeping it real. And yeah, just really appreciate it. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, and just in terms of keeping it real, it doesn't take actual leadership. It takes the people that work there to get it to leadership. Because ultimately leadership will listen to its employees, hopefully. And that's really what it takes to change. So a shout out to everyone here that does work at a large company and is making that change. Anyone else on the call that would like to say a few words? Yudi, do you want to read off anyone that might be in there just so I can?
How about Marcus from Beyond?
Marcus from Beyond. Marcus leading the diversity and inclusion efforts for multiple years. If you feel comfortable, we'd love to hear a few words from Marcus.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. My journey with BridgeGood started, I think 3 or 4 apprentices classes ago, and we became aware of BridgeGood at Beyond working on a project for Google that was all about the Google Spaces and building a website for them. And that's where we came across the case study of how BridgeGood was using the space before BridgeGood was over in Oakland. And it was sort of an immediate like light bulb connection of what you all are doing pairs so well and so importantly with what we're trying to do at Beyond, which is as a design agency, trying to build teams that represent and are designed for the audiences we're serving. And so bringing more different perspectives into the design industry is something we care about deeply at Beyond. And so it was natural for us to become mentors and become more and more integrated with the organization. Duran was actually, I think, at the first version of this presentation that we attended, and Duran and I kind of formed a relationship and we kept in touch over the years, and it was so awesome to be able to get him to join our team, and super thankful for Brody for also helping make that happen. But what we love the program because it's teaching so well the skills that we use every day at Beyond. The curriculum is so on point. It's so in line with how we work. Even not just like the frameworks you're using, but just the mentality and the principles and characteristics you're building within the teams. We love supporting the organization. Love being part of it. Super grateful for that. And yeah, we look forward to, we do an internship program after each of these, so we're looking forward to doing that again. And we want more Durans at Beyond because he's definitely changing our organization for the better and is doing a bunch of great work. So just shout out and thank you to everybody involved, Sean and Yudi, and yeah, we're just super grateful to be partners with you all.
Thank you, Marcus, and thank you, Beyond. Round of applause for Beyond, honestly. Michael from Just Global. Michael, what's up?
How's it going, Sean? How are you?
Yeah, Michael, you know, we fixed the site that got hacked. That's great. You've been working on the BRIDGEGOOD.org Google Ads campaign and the .com campaign for I think over a year now. You've volunteered as a mentor. You yourself have gone through similar programs. What's your experience with BridgeGood, and why do you continue to stay involved?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, you know, I don't have experience in UX design. I'm a search engine marketer at an agency helping service BridgeGood, one of our favorite clients. We work very closely together to just make sure that your ads are running and we're servicing you well. And, you know, to your point, I finished a program very similar to BridgeGood, which kind of led to my career path. And so our partnership and our relationship has always been that, just connecting on giving back to the community, helping those in similar situations where they finish college and don't know what's next. And so my experience with BridgeGood has always been, how can I help? How can I provide my expertise, my knowledge, my experience and provide it to the apprenticeship program? And I think that, you know, being able to have that platform where I can go and talk about anything from a personal pitch to some of the other topics we've covered together, you know, like it's been amazing, and I'm very grateful that you've given me that platform.
Great, Michael, awesome. Round of applause for Just Global. They've been helping us out for several years now. Great, you know, good. And Brody, do you have any final thoughts? We have two more slides and then we're good, but do you have any other thoughts, or any other apprentices want to come up here and say a few words? I know it's a little scary, but.
Yeah, I think my final thought, you know, and I kind of just posted this, but I think this is such a great program to kind of get such a breadth of experience that touches on kind of all aspects of what design is. You know, design is UX research. Design is listening to the audience, understanding what their needs are, and then delivering something that will surprise and delight. And whether that's wireframing, visual design, you name it, you know, but like, what's great about this is as you build the teams, you know, kind of people, you know, taking the mantle and being the team lead, and then somebody taking on research and kind of embracing it, and also kind of figuring out like where you like to play is really important in your career development. And I've seen like a lot of bravery out of all of the apprentices that just really is humbling. And, you know, I just got to give a massive shout out to everybody out of this year's cohort. And I'm so glad that, and I feel so bad for, you know, Brooklyn and Karina, who are remote, you know, to not be there in person. But I mean, really just testament to both of you for, you know, just making sure your voices are heard, being as involved as possible, finding ways to make it work. You know, it's really important. And it'll just kind of make you, the both of you, stronger for when you enter this crazy world, which is like COVID, not COVID, we don't know, you know, so there's like so much of in-person, remote, and having to deal with kind of the curveballs that come your way when having to come up with these concepts and these ideas, you know, in kind of not the most ideal settings. But to see this go from last year where everything is remote to this year where you got to see people in person, I think it was really beneficial for this year's cohort. And just want to give a massive round of applause to everybody that participated this year. You should all be proud.
Yeah, and Brody, I do want to also say, since you've joined the board, our programming has honestly skyrocketed in terms of its impact. So I want to say thank you, Brody. A few more things, and then we're going to get out of here. Thank you, Koka Yamamoto, one of our former graduates of the apprenticeship, who interned with Beyond and now is a product designer, donated $50. Elisa Feng here, shout out to Lisa, who's now the program coordinator, $100. Thank you, Elisa. And then Erica, you donated $50. Gavin, Salesforce, $50. That's just the ones I could see on my notification screen. So thank you all for donating. Yeah, and that's kind of what was on my mind was the people that were all virtual, Brody. I give them a lot of props for sticking to it. Is Brooklyn still here? Yeah, Brooklyn is someone that I honestly, Yudi interviewed her. It's kind of a famous story here now. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know about like getting someone from Atlanta. It's how are they going to stay engaged? And I'm not sure if her focus is UX. She's a kind of a visual designer. And Yudi's like, no, trust me, like she's going to be great. And I'll be honest, Brooklyn has killed it. Like round of applause for that. Like weekly LinkedIn posts that make me go, damn, like we really did that. Quoting people, just the enthusiasm. And then also another thing, and Brody, I know we've talked about this, is like, if you work somewhere or you intern somewhere, represent, like give it your all. And Brooklyn gives it her all at BRIDGEGOOD, honestly, like honestly. So I just wanted to shout out Brooklyn. Do you have a few words, Brooklyn? I know that was kind of a large praise, but.
Yes, I've been itching to talk. No, but I'm actually sad Amber hopped off because there's like 3 things that really stuck with me, because I know the work has been amazing, but really the thing about BRIDGEGOOD is the inspiration from everyone that has talked to us. There's so many quotes I have from Sean, but specifically Brody, I remember him telling us how even no matter where we are in our career, anybody deals with imposter syndrome. And the reason I really joined BRIDGEGOOD is because of that community. And every day you guys help us not feel alone. Another thing was that Amber said, when you design for accessibility, you design for everyone. That has stuck with me since she said it. And then the last thing was when Victor Kim from Free Association told us that tools are vehicles, not destinations. Stuck with me ever since. So I really want to give a round of applause to you guys because everything you've said really stuck with me.
Thank you, Brooklyn. Round of applause. And to Karina as well. East LA in the house. So yeah, with that, we have one final slide, right? This is interesting, everyone. So the kind of an announcement that I'll let Yudi do herself if she feels comfortable, but I personally wanted to say thank you to Yudi, 6 years at BRIDGEGOOD. Round of applause for that, first of all. And this photo in here that you all can see was like that year I think we got funded by Google or some big news, and then we got awarded, like we were just getting hell of awards that year, right? Because you know when you're hot, everyone's just like giving, like just take it. And so we had like 5 or 6 awards that year, and I'm like, okay, Yudi. So they asked me to bring one of our best students up, and it's at the Fox Theater, which is like hundreds of people. She's like, I don't even like to speak. Like I don't even present. And I said, it's only 300 people, don't worry. And she goes, okay. And she did it, and she killed it, of course. But that spirit of kind of like getting out your comfort zone. And then also, I think, Lauren, to your point about sometimes, most of the time, it's really not about money. You know, the really successful people that I've met and know honestly don't care about that. They care about the experiences, the moments, how you make people feel. Yudi exemplifies trying to make it as real as possible for you all, trying to give structure, which I hate and I don't have. So Yudi's really changed the game for BRIDGEGOOD in so many ways. And you know, it's been over 6 years, not quite 7, right? So I just want all of us to acknowledge Yudi for all of her hard work and dedication, and also love for you all. You might not know this, but she actually cares a lot. She's like, I go home, she's like, I'm at home, and even when I'm not working, I'm still thinking about them, meaning you all. What she said, what we did, of course, me, Sean, you didn't do this right, of course, but I'll leave it to Yudi, but I just wanted to say that this is only the beginning of your journey, all of you. And this is the beginning of Yudi's journey. And I'll let Yudi share if she feels comfortable, okay? So here we go. Round of applause for Yudi.
I'm already crying. I see over here on the side. This 6 years of Bridgewood has been amazing. It's true. I'm going on a deep journey now. This is officially my last cohort of students at Bridgewood, and August 31st is my last day. And I cry not only because it's sad, it's just happiness at the same time. It took me a long time to really think for myself, right? I focused so deeply in doing this job, right? Getting it right and trying to always stick to the purpose and the mission of Bridgegood, that I happen to forget that I need to focus a little bit on me as well, right? And now is the time where I'm going to, continue my path in this career, that I'm looking to, move up. And I'm very grateful for everything that I experienced at Bridgegood and everything I learned. Everything I learned at Bridgegood is what is making me feel strong and confident to move on to the next step of my career. And it's not a goodbye. I'm never gonna leave Bridgegood. Bridgegood helped me polish my skills, and I'm looking to come back, but maybe as a person who might come and teach something, right, for the apprenticeship or even the Inspire Open program. I'm always gonna be here. I'm part of this community. I'm not leaving Bridgegood. I'm always gonna be a creative that was born in Bridgegood. So I'm very thankful, and yeah, this is it. Thank you.
Yeah. So with that, does anyone have any messages of anything for either Yudi or for the organization, for Bridgegood? We have a few minutes left, maybe 3-4 minutes. Yep. Lisa, board president here, Bridgegood.
I'm just gonna stop it.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah.
Yudi, it's just been so amazing to watch you develop as a designer and also as a leader in the time that I've been involved with Bridgegood. So it's really, really touching to kind of see this cadence, this 6th year as you kind of launch your career in another direction, knowing how deeply imprinted Bridgegood is on you and you on Bridgegood as well. So it just like warms my heart to see you kind of taking this courageous leap and getting ready to take the next step. And I'm excited to see what you're going to do out there. I know it's going to be great.
Cool. Anyone else want to say a few words? Maybe Elisa. Yeah.
All right, so I just want to say, to be honest, when I was a student last year, Yudi scared the Jesus out of me and my cohort. But looking back, it's her, constant pushing us that's really encouraging us moving out to the real world and to face the reality that's ahead of us. Without Yudi, we couldn't be nearly as far as we have come. And without Yudi, there will be no structure. It will be partying at Bridgegood all day with Sean and not learn anything at all. So a big shout out to Yudi and thank you for everything you do.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I already called the buzz and I was like, hey, don't. So with that, 2022, we got this. And appreciate everyone online, Facebook, mentors, funders, you know who you are, appreciate and love. And then for all of us, we have a little cake coming out. and then we're all gonna head out to Plank and whoever can, and appetizers on Brisbane, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. Peace, y'all. Later.